Our guest today is Sesha Dhanyamraju, who is the CEO of Digital Risk in Florida, which is an Emphasis company. And Sesha is also the Chief Strategy Officer for Emphasis, which is an IT services, global IT services company. Sesha, welcome to Knowledge at Wharton, and thank you for speaking with us for the Knowledge at Wharton High School site.
Thank you so much, Mukul. And I'm very happy to be here today.
Great. So, Sesha, some time ago we had a conversation about the fact that when many students graduate from high school these days, one of the options that some of them like to think about is a career perhaps in IT services. How do you see the potential for students to join IT services as a career path? I think you recently had some interesting experiences about that. Could you tell us about it?
Sure. So first of all, I think when you look at the high school generation today, IT comes naturally to them, Mukul. So because unlike the prior generations where IT was a gained skill, the high school students today have an advantage because they actually are born with IT. So skills around IT, using IT, leveraging IT comes naturally to them. So this actually puts them in a spot of advantage, which they can leverage, and actually they can then harness this skill to utilize IT knowledge and do many things with it. So recently I had an opportunity to address a group of freshmen at a high school which was focused around IT. And incidentally, I actually felt going in that all the students will be very happy to be in that environment. On the contrary, when I went there, I actually was told that there is a good majority of the students who actually feel as if they are fish out of water.
What's the reason for that? Why would they feel so negatively about being in a school that focuses on IT?
I think the main reason for their discontent was not specifically whether the school was focused on IT or not. The fact that the choice about joining the school was made by somebody else other than them. So high school students wanting to be in total control of the choices that they make. And if their parents or caregiver basically suggested to them or decided this option for them, then it became a situation where they didn't really want to be associated with that choice. So rather than trying to embrace themselves with access to so many new technologies, with access to so many courses that they can actually leverage, they actually felt that, I'm actually not at the right place. This is certainly not the desired school for me, nor a set of courses that actually help me in where I want to head.
So did you came up with some sort of a model that would allow them to reframe their thinking about how to become successful in thinking about a career in information technology? Can you tell us a little bit about your model, and does it have anything to do with smoothies?
Yeah, so when I was thinking about the type of topics that would be of interest to the high school students, I wanted to give them some framework, some guidelines that they could actually use in a way that probably relates to their age. So I came up with this fragment, if you will. And later on, one high school student basically remarked that it is both quirky and creative, and that is exactly what makes it relevant for high school students' consumption. So the whole concept was around how do you maximize your true potential, how do you unleash your true potential. And this success mantra is apple, peach, green leaf smoothie is nice. So that's what I talked to them about.
What does it mean?
So basically, it's a mnemonic to remember a few things that might be of help to high school students. The apple, which basically A stands for attitude. The key point here being saying that, look, now that you are in this high school, maybe your choice, maybe a choice made by somebody else for you. Now you have a choice that you can either make the most out of the current situation, or you can fight every day and think of going through the daily courses as a big chore. And the suggestion that we left the students with was maybe they would like to relook at the situation and approach it with the glass is half full kind of an approach, rather than always saying that, look, I'm in a very bad environment and bad spot to be in. And we went on to discuss with them to say, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen to you if you get stuck with IT?
Right.
And then we talked about some of the examples of how many teenagers have successfully used their IT skills and gone and to set up actually companies which have been valued, and they have created tremendous value for themselves and for people around them.
It's very interesting that I recently read somewhere that instead of thinking that the glass is half empty or the glass is half full, it's good to realize that the glass is always refillable.
That's actually very, very true, actually, yes.
If you look at it that way, that you can change your attitude, which is, I think, the point that you were driving at.
Right.
So what's the peach part of your...
So the P, so we basically said that, look, so once you basically, try to train your mind around what attitude you would like to approach the given situation with, then you want to go and talk about trying to discover your true passion, trying to discover what is your purpose. And we talked about the fact that it's very important for oneself, and maybe not necessarily just for high school students, but for people across all different generations to basically understand what their true purpose is. And the hypothesis that I shared with these students was the fact that there are different inflection points, right? One could be an inflection point as one is approaching high school, right? The next inflection point could be that one is approaching college. And the next inflection point as you graduate from college into assuming a professional career. So therefore, at these points, you may want to revisit your so-called purpose statement. And in fact, one of the homework assignments that we gave the students was to basically go and write an essay to themselves as saying that this is what is my purpose statement, and then revisit that purpose statement every few years to basically check the progress that they are making and the journey that their lives are taking vis-a-vis the purpose statement that they have come up with. And actually, I first did this exercise when I was in my early 20s as part of a business school exercise. And I still vividly remember that that purpose statement. In fact, at that point of time when we did it, we did not think that actually this would have transformation capability for all of us. But, it's very interesting that when I talked to several of my friends who were in the same business school at around the same time, that exercise, which seemingly looked very simple, right, had a remarkable impact on all of our lives, because whenever, at least when I'm in doubt, I go back to that purpose statement and basically ask myself the question, am I living that purpose or not?
Do you remember what was in the purpose statement?
Yeah, absolutely. My purpose statement, basically, which I wrote at that time, was that to live my life in such a way that I would help each and every person in my sphere of influence to help realize their full potential.
Wow. That's a pretty impressive purpose.
Well, it came at that time naturally to me. And so this intent of actually going to these high school students and talking to them about this topic was in line with that purpose statement.
Right. What's the third element of your model, which is, I think, Greenleaf?
Yeah, so actually Greenleaf has actually two components in it. The G stands for goals. So once you have your purpose defined, you'll basically then, we talked about to the students about the fact that then how do you start setting goals for yourself? And we talked about setting long-term and short-term goals. And so about the fact that where do you need to be, say, 6 years from today in order to be living your purpose statement. And then working backwards from there. So we say, okay, if 6 years from today you need to be achieving these following important initiatives, then what do you need to achieve 3 years from today? What do you need to achieve 1 year from today, 6 months from today, 3 months from today, next month, next fortnight, and tomorrow? So basically trying to work backwards from their purpose statement and converting that purpose statement into actionable goals. And the L in the LEAF stands for the long haul. So we basically try to talk to the students about the fact that you need to be prepared for the long haul. If you wish to be effective in your professional, personal lives, you need to understand that it is a marathon and it is not something that you basically run as a sprint.
Right.
So therefore, you need to be prepared for the long haul. And then the next part is the smoothie, which
Yes.
basically is, essentially stands for stamina and strength.
Right.
So because of the fact that you have to be prepared for the long haul, you need to basically really focus on building your strength, building your endurance, and building physical, mental, and spiritual strength and stamina so that you can endure the long haul.
Interesting. So when you presented your model to the students, how did this resonate in terms of becoming successful IT professionals?
So a few things happened. So one was that the students basically it was not a monologue. The topic and the concepts that we discussed were something that people felt quite passionate about to discuss. In fact, one of the students actually challenged the mnemonic itself and basically said that I have a better mnemonic, and that had something to do with AP grades.
Okay.
So I said, this is wonderful because now you are coming up with something that you could relate to and which probably will make it more memorable to that person. So I said, the idea is not that you need to remember this particular mnemonic, you could actually come up with your own. But the idea is, do you understand the concept? So in that way, the purpose was served. So and the last point that I had mentioned in my in that fragment was NICE, which we basically telling them that remembering that you need to always understand that you're not alone in this entire journey, and the importance of surrounding yourself with a support system, and that support system could come in the form of parents, in the form of teachers, your friends, and any mentors. And anybody who can help you, because there will be multiple situations along this journey where you will get bruises, where you will get hurt, and somebody need to be watching out for you, helping you along the way. And also, more importantly, they would need to ensure that if you stray away from your purpose statement, they're able to show the mirror to you and basically say you are acting inconsistent with your purpose statement.
So we have a couple of minutes left, and I was wondering if we could talk a little bit about another expression I've heard you use, which is the Mars generation. What exactly is that?
So, Mukul, we are in a very exciting phase right now. We are talking about the fact that by the 2030s, mankind would like to set foot on Mars. So essentially, the age group of 6 to 16, is getting referred to as the generation Mars, if you will, and so I think this generation is really going to be they are essentially going to be the future, visionaries and the future space explorers for all of us and for mankind. And so the kind of associated technological innovation that needs to come, which many of those types of disruptions we have not seen yet, because whatever, in fact, now they're talking about having deep space homes, which we have not yet seen. So to that extent, I think it's probably an excellent time to be a Generation Mars citizen. And, good luck to all of those people. And as they try to go and conquer this Mars quest.
Sesha, thank you so much for talking with Knowledge at Wharton High School today.
Thank you so much for having me.